Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdson of World Alternative Media here, and Jared Kushner has business ties with George Soros, and deep ones at that. The president's advisor and son-in-law has failed to disclose business ties with George Soros and unprincipled libertarian globalist Peter Thiel. I'll break this down further, but first, according to Business Insider, Jared Kushner didn't disclose his business ties with George Soros, Peter Thiel, and Goldman Sachs, or that he owns $1 billion in loans, the Wall Street Journal reported on Tuesday. The top White House advisor and son-in-law of Trump failed to identify his part ownership of Cadre, a real estate startup he founded, which links him to the Goldman Sachs Group and the mega investors George Soros and Peter Thiel, sources told the Journal. Jamie Gorelick, an attorney for Kushner, told the Journal in a statement that Cadre was part of BFPS Ventures LLC, a company Kushner owns and identified in his government financial disclosure forms. Gorelick also said a revised version of Kushner's form that includes Cadre would be made available once ethics officials have looked at it. Kushner also failed to identify debt of more than $1 billion from 20 lenders and personal guarantees to pay more than $300 million of that, according to the Journal. While Gorelick called revisions to the disclosure very normal, ethics experts told the Journal that the loans and guarantees should be disclosed so officials could decide whether Kushner needs to recuse himself from issues that involve his lenders. Investment in startups like Cadre should definitely be disclosed, experts said. And I quote, anything that presents a potential for the conflict of interest should be disclosed so that the public and the press can monitor this, Trevor Potter, a former chairman of the Federal Election Commission, told the Journal. Now, get this. A source told the Journal that Kushner planned to recuse himself from anything that concerned Deutsche Bank or RBS, two lenders that have given him money for his properties or companies and to which he has provided personal guarantees on loans. He still owes money to Bank of America, Blackstone Group, Citigroup, UBS, Deutsche Bank, and RBS, all of which were not disclosed, according to the Journal. Now, this is a conflict of interest if I've ever seen one. This verifies theories by Business Insider and TheRealDeal.com going back to 2016 regarding Soros opening up a $250 million line of credit with an unnamed New York family. Soros and Thiel own stakes in the Kushner-owned company that is housed in a Manhattan building owned by Kushner's family. I'll elaborate further on why this is such a big deal. This essentially means that Kushner is business partners with George Soros. While Trump himself had a decades-long connection with Soros, Kushner seems to be promoting the neocon warhawk perspective within the White House while pushing socialist views on the other hand. Soros, who helped fund Clinton, has funded violent revolutions and riots throughout the world through his Open Society Foundation, is attempting to regulate the internet in his favor at the United Nations, and wants war with Russia, among countless other appalling issues, has not commented on these ties, but it's pretty reasonable to say that ties to Soros in general do not look good. I like to call Jared Kushner the new generation's Henry Kissinger, despite the fact that, of course, Kissinger is still working behind the scenes. His globalist views show that the deep state is still alive and well at the White House. Though debt is a common thing to see when it comes to lenders, the fact that Kushner's in government makes potential conflict quite substantial. His debts to massive banks should worry individuals, considering the involvement of banks like Bank of America, Blackstone Group, Citigroup, UBS, Deutsche Bank, and of course RBS in the global order, especially Deutsche Bank, something we've been reporting on at WHAM for quite some time now. These banks work with the ESF, the IMF, and other global money changers to manipulate gold and silver prices, among other monies. They thrive off the debt of their customers, and they most definitely will thrive off of the debt of Mr. Kushner as he advises policies that put the American public in debt. You can see a domino fall there, I'm sure. This mixed with Kushner's connections with Lagarde, head of the IMF, friendliness with globalist Justin Trudeau, alongside Ivanka, and Ivanka's long-time friendship with Chelsea Clinton, the puzzle pieces can easily be put together. Though based on assumption, as it's often been said, when it looks like a duck, when it quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. Trump's administration has been going after Julian Assange of WikiLeaks. They're considering staying in the Paris Climate Agreement due to Kushner and Ivanka's views. Trump will likely no longer terminate NAFTA. Trump has been praising the Federal Reserve. Trump has given the CIA full power to kill whoever they want through the drone program without authorization or permission from the Pentagon. Following Kushner's wishes, according to insiders at the White House, Trump bombed Syria, causing serious tensions between the US and Russia, something Hillary Clinton was a big proponent of. The Trump administration even tabled the possibility of putting a no-fly zone in Syria, which according to top US generals would start a war with Russia. This isn't to say that Trump is directly involved in the globalist manipulation, though it would be a hell of a limited hangout psyop if he was. It's more that he doesn't appear to have much power at all. Inside the realm of statism, which we do not support at all here at Wham, at the very least, Trump was pushed to the side and told to be a talking head as the continued collectivist globalist agenda continued to play out. The often noted understanding that presidents have little power. No matter who wins, the deep state, the shadow government, the CFR, the Trilateral Commission, the global monetary system, and manipulators in general always stand to be the true winners. Those who are truly in control, as long as we keep falling for the charade every single time. Though I will admit that the charade is getting more and more complex with each election. That's because people are waking up and they don't want that to happen. Considering a lot of the statements made by the president in recent days, he's not aware of what the military-industrial complex entrenched in the US government is actually doing. For example, Trump claimed that the USS Carl Vinson was in the Korean Peninsula at the ready if North Korea causes any problems. Meanwhile, the Carl Vinson was by Indonesia. While many believe that this is an example of Trump getting his news from televised news rather than actually getting briefed on the specifics as TV news alleged the movement of the USS Carl Vinson in the Korean Peninsula before Trump had made any statement. With the battle between nationalist Steve Bannon and globalist Jared Kushner, this isn't going to end anytime soon. Kushner himself is without a doubt a puppet. A young guy like that isn't at the top. Someone like Kushner makes a great lackey for the globalist elite, especially considering his position. He's one of the least likely people imaginable to be fired, being the son-in-law of Donald Trump. While Trump calls out the deep state one day and impresses many, the next he's saying he's both a nationalist and a globalist. When people make excuses rather than being objective and critical, apathy sets in and the globalist elites get away with whatever they want. It's our responsibility to always be consistent and stand for nothing less than individual liberty. Settling for less is to settle for being beaten once a day rather than twice a day, when in reality you shouldn't be beaten at all. Stay tuned as we continue to uncover this insanity. Thanks for watching, everyone. You can check the links below. GoFundMe, Patreon. We can't do it without you. Any donation is very much appreciated, especially as YouTube demonetizes us and censors us to such a vast scale. You can also see our address for Bitcoin in the description and the comments, as well as on the screen for you to scan if you please. And also check our link in the description and the comments for the Red Pill Expo, where you could see people like G. Edward Griffin, Robert Kiyosaki, Lord Moncton, Cynthia McKinney, Richard Gage, James Corbett, Ty Bollinger, Mike Adams, John Rappaport, and so many more incredible names in Bozeman, Montana in June. So we hope to see you there. Get your tickets while you still can. And until next time, this is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.